When it comes to DRMs, I've never been a huge fan. Uplay and Origin are intrusive as hell, and every time a new DRM pops up and asks me to download it, I get flashbacks to games for Windows Live. The only DRM I've ever liked is Steam. It's not pushy, it doesn't force you to be online to play most of your games, and even the updates that pop up every now and then aren't required. You can just close them and let the thing update the next time you launch the program. But this doesn't mean Steam is perfect. A long while ago, I made a video about the disadvantages to Steam, and things have really changed since then. So I wanted to talk about some of the most annoying things about this software. Like the last video, some of these are going to sound a bit more nitpicky than others, but I'm writing about everything I've noticed, so forgive me if you don't agree with some of these. First issue I have with Steam is how hard it is to find new games to play. Steam used to have Greenlight, where indie devs could submit their games in demos and the community would vote on which ones they liked the most. This came with a variety of its own issues, like meme games going to the top of the list, while games that took years of hard work were overlooked. Steam eventually removed Greenlight, which seemed promising, but instead of any sort of moderation, they have bots and algorithms sifting through the ocean of crap and basically letting almost everything in. You go to the front page these days and it's anime titty games, anime dating sims, and the newest sandbox survival that everyone's playing. I thought it was weird when YouTube started allowing porn, but Steam? There are kids on here, man! And I know there are NSFW settings to ensure kids can't view the pages, but they're not very strict. It's just so intimidating now to find an indie gem. You basically gotta wait until everyone else has found the game or get crazy lucky. One reason itch.io and GameJolt is so good these days. Steam does have filters that you can apply, which does help a little bit, but you have to wonder what amazing title is hiding in there that nobody's ever played because tits got the better of them. This moves us into multiplayer games. Adding friends to games used to be really straightforward. You'd type in the friend's name on Steam, send an invite, done. Some games wouldn't allow you to do this. You'd have to use their browser to find your friends, but for the most part this was easy enough. Lately, Steam has allowed game devs to implement a pop-up with all your friends in it so that you can quickly add them to the game. The only issue is when you launch this pop-up, it opens your entire friends list. It doesn't do something useful like filter out friends who are playing the same game. No, it just gives you an alphabetical list of everyone you've ever added, and if you're a YouTuber with thousands of friends, this is a pain in the ass. You can still just open up Steam messages and add them through there most of the time, but sometimes the only way to add them is through this list. Add filters to this, Valve. A friends playing the same game filter would solve all of this. Here's an issue that's a pretty big deal. You launch a game to play with your friends, you sort through your friends list, and after about an hour, you finally find the friend and you add him to the game. If you're playing an online game, all someone has to do is right-click your name, click on Show Game Info, and your IP is listed right there. A subscriber of mine by the username Arashkal found this the other day when I was playing Risk of Rain 2. He clicked on Show Game Info and sent me my IP that the game just willingly gave him. So that's just great. If you ever want to stalk an internet personality that you friended on Steam, it's as simple as that. Thanks, Valve, for that one. This was never a thing before, so why in the hell is this something Valve decided would be a good idea to add? Either way, definitely something they should fix. The next issue I have regards the leveling up system. I've complained about this one before, but this is still really annoying. I'm fine with the whole leveling up thing. It's cool to craft badges and get neat profile slots to show off your games and achievements. Honestly, if anyone cared, they'd likely level themselves up to get the perfect profile, but Steam has locked friend slots behind this level up system. Now, granted, for the average person, 250 base friend slots is more than enough. The issue is if you're a famous YouTuber, or esports gamer, or any sort of popular personality that likes playing games with your community, this level up system becomes a paywall. I used to spend time and money buying Steam trading cards just so I could level up and add more friends to Steam. In case you don't know anything about this system, let me explain how this works. First things first, you have your inventory. If you click on a card, you can see how many more cards you need to turn it into a badge. As you craft your cards into badges, you gain Steam XP, and you level up. Each time you level up, you get 5 more friend slots. Now you can get cards from playing games, but if you notice, you only have a set amount of card drops, and sometimes they end up being the same card. There are also foils, which are more rare and far more expensive to buy and craft into a badge, and you can only craft the same badge so many times before you're never allowed to craft that badge ever again. So now let's say you have a bunch of cards that you can't turn into badges anymore. What you can do is sell them on the Steam Community Market for a couple cents, or you can turn them into gems. 750 to 1,000 gems will craft you a booster pack, and you can basically sit in this circle for hours just trying to level yourself up and add more friends on Steam. Luckily, I complained about this once, and my community, being as amazing as they are, found my Steam trading link and started sending me tons of cards to help me level up faster. I have no idea how many friend slots I currently have, but I haven't run into that dreaded message, "We're sorry, but you cannot add butt stuffer because your Steam friends list is full." However, there is an unfortunate side effect of receiving that message once. Because my friends list was completely full at one time, Steam now forever thinks it's full. If someone I meet wanted to add me on Steam, I have to go into my friend requests, remove a few names, have them add me, then I can accept them. But if I try to add them by name, I'm met with the error that my friends list is full. Valve, please fix. Now, this next issue I've talked about before, and I get a lot of crap for wanting this. I want to be able to sell my Steam games. Oh no, what a catastrophe! Look, there's some games that subscribers sent to me because it was a joke. Bad Rats, the ultimate crappy game, is forever in my library because some tool thought he was being funny. By the way, thank you, Panda, for the game. Now look, I already know the argument. Barry, you can sell a hard copy because it's physical media with wear. You can't sell digital because there are no stipulations on what's fair. If you buy a digital code and you play the game, you could then sell it for the same price since there's no physical wear. I also understand that all video games as a whole are not technically sold to you. They're licensed to you and you just gotta deal with that. But can we take a step back here for a minute and talk about something real, Mr. Bureaucracy? My Steam library is full of shit. It's filled to the brim with fidget spinner simulators and putt-putt, other crap I'll never play and was gifted for the meme, and I'm willing to bet that all of you watching this have games in your library that you'll never play, or at the very least won't ever touch again. It's easy enough to add these games to a hide list, but Steam already has everything in place to make this selling Steam games possible, and I'm not talking about adding a bunch of money to your Steam wallet. If you remember the Steam trading cards thing that I just talked about, I mentioned gems. As you sell trading cards, you can earn gems, and when you have enough, you can pack them into a sack and sell them on the community market, or you can turn them into trading cards. What if Valve implemented a system that let you clean up your library using these? So let's say that I no longer wanted Garfield Kart. I could right-click on the game, click Turn into Gems. Steam will ask me if I truly want to remove this game from my library, and I now have however many gems that particular game is worth, and that could depend on hours played or the price I bought the game for, etc. I can now use these gems to get more booster packs, turn them into trading cards, or sell them on the market for a couple bucks and buy another game. It's not like this would ruin Valve's earnings, they literally allow you to do all of this already. And I'm sure they would be worried because initially this change could bite them in the ass in terms of game sales, but it would quickly level itself out. And Valve is already one of the wealthiest DRMs out there. It's not like they wouldn't survive this, especially if you were only allowed to turn one game into gems every week or so. I don't know, they've implemented a refund system and it's fine, but it does nothing for cleaning out a clogged up library. Plus, the refund thing has bitten small devs in the ass a few times. Instead of being able to refund a 2-hour-long game, let me turn it into gems. The developer still got his money, I get to clean up my library, and now I have a few cents in my Steam wallet. Now you may say, well Barry, if you turn your games into gems, couldn't you just do that every week until you have enough money to buy new games? What if you did that for your whole library? And if you know anything about gems, you'd know that 1,000 gems packed into a sack goes for about 65 cents on the market. So it's not like you're going to be trading game for game here. You're still going to have to buy the rest with real world money. And if Valve didn't want you using gems or cards to buy games, they've already made a huge mistake. As I said before, you guys have sent me millions of trading cards, and I cannot be more thankful for that. If I sell 500 of these random trading cards, I get about 30 bucks in my Steam wallet. So if I wasn't using that money to level up, I could have been getting all my Steam games for free. To me, it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal. Plus, the Steam trading market is like any other market. Prices fluctuate as supply and demand does. I just don't see any downsides to allowing people to get rid of their games for a little bit of cash coming back. It would also make Steam unique to all the other DRMs out there too, but I've talked about this one for too long now. Let's just move on to the last con. The last con is the largest con, and the fact that this has been Valve's biggest problem since Steam launched is horrendous. Valve's customer support. Valve has notoriously been one of the absolute worst companies when it comes to resolving its customers' problems. Now, there are a few ways to contact Valve if you have an issue. The first way is to sift through their forums, and specifically forums for the particular game that you're having trouble with. Almost every avenue leads you to their forums. If that doesn't work, you can submit a ticket and wait the 6 months it takes for someone to get back to you. Now, I am messing around a bit slightly. I have submitted tickets to Valve and they are slow, but my issues were at least resolved in about 2 weeks. For some people, though, it does take months. Some people out there submit a ticket over and over again and still never got any replies from anyone. And this isn't just for people who have issues with games. There have been accounts that Valve has locked with no explanation, and it's taken months for the person to finally reach a representative so they can get their account back, or at the very least, have an answer for why it happened in the first place. Every possible issue you could run into leads you to forums or a painstakingly tedious ticket process. There was a time when I got so fed up, I started emailing Gabe Newell and other board members, but of course that never led anywhere. I finally found a phone number that Valve used to use for customer support, but even that's a wash. They don't have it up anymore, but a few years ago when you called the number, this is what happened. I kinda wish they still had it up because it speaks volumes about Steam's customer service.
Hello, and thank you for calling Valve. If you are calling from a touch-tone phone and know the extension of the person with whom you wish to speak, please enter it now. For questions regarding product support or Steam, please press 8. For all other inquiries or to reach our general voicemail box, please press 0. Steam does not offer phone support for any of our products. You can obtain support by visiting the support section at www.steampowered.com.